The sound of rain hitting the rooftops echoed through the small village of Darsoon. Thunder rolled in the distance as lightning flashed over the muddy football field. A lone boy stood there, his clothes soaked, his shoes torn, but his eyes burned with fire. His name was Adil, and football was not just his game. It was his heartbeat. Every evening, while others stayed indoors, Adil would run across the wet ground, kicking an old, deflated ball patched with tape. He didn't have proper shoes, no uniform, and no coach. But what he did have was something no one could see: the hunger to be more. His father, a laborer, often came home tired. "Adil," he would sigh, "why waste your time in the rain? Go study like your cousins. Dreams don't feed the family." But Adil would smile, wiping mud from his face. "I'll make this dream feed us one day, Abba." His father would shake his head and mutter, "Success doesn't happen by kicking a ball, son." Adil didn't argue. He just practiced harder. At school, the other boys mocked him. "Hey, Village Ronaldo," they teased, "your ball is older than you." He laughed it off, but every word sank deep into his heart. He didn't hate them. He just wanted to prove them wrong. Every morning, before sunrise, he ran 5 laps around the village ground. He trained alone, practicing dribbles and passes against wooden poles he set up himself. Sometimes he fell, sometimes he failed, but he always got up. One morning, while running, he saw an old man watching from the fence. The man wore a cap and carried a whistle. "You play with a lot of energy, boy," the man said. Adil stopped, panting. "I just love the game, sir." The man smiled. "Love is good, but love without discipline dies fast." Adil frowned. "Who are you?" The man chuckled. "Used to be a coach, once. Now I just watch others chase their dreams." Adil's heart raced. "Will you teach me?" The man studied him for a moment. "I can teach you, but it'll be hard. No skipping days, no excuses. Are you ready for that?" Without hesitation, Adil nodded. "Yes, sir. I'm ready." From that day, his life changed. Coach Kareem became his mentor. He trained Adil like never before, running drills before sunrise, push-ups until his arms trembled, and passing exercises until his legs went numb. The first week, Adil wanted to quit. His body hurt, his mind screamed. But every time he thought of giving up, Coach Kareem would say, "Success is not an accident, boy. It's built brick by brick, with sweat days turned into months." Under Kareem's watchful eyes, Adil grew sharper, faster, and stronger. He learned to control the ball like a dance, precise, patient, and powerful. He learned that talent gets you started, but discipline keeps you moving. One day, during practice, Adil fell badly and injured his ankle. Pain shot through his leg, and he screamed. The doctor told him to rest for 6 weeks. 6 weeks away from the field felt like a lifetime. He sat by his window every evening, watching the kids play outside. Tears burned his eyes. "What if I lose everything I've worked for?" he whispered. But Coach Kareem visited him. He placed a hand on Adil's shoulder and said, "Son, success isn't just winning. It's fighting the urge to quit." So even while injured, Adil trained his mind. He watched matches, studied moves, visualized plays. When his body couldn't move, his mind practiced. And when he healed, he came back stronger. One evening, a regional selection team came to their district. Players from all nearby villages gathered, all dreaming of making it to the city's youth academy. Adil stood nervously among them, clutching his worn-out shoes. The field buzzed with competition. When the trials began, the other boys showed off flashy moves. But Adil remembered Coach Kareem's words. Don't play to impress. Play to express. When his turn came, he played from his heart. His passes were clean, his shots powerful, his focus unbreakable. The selectors watched closely. By the end of the match, one of them called out, "Who's the boy in the red shirt?" Adil froze. "Sir, me?" The man smiled. "You've got something special." "You're coming to the City Academy." Adil's world stopped. He turned to Coach Kareem, who stood by the fence, smiling proudly. "You earned this, son," Kareem said softly. "Remember what I told you. Success isn't luck." It's effort. Life in the city was harder than Adil imagined. The academy had talented players from everywhere. Rich kids with fancy shoes, expensive gear, and years of training. He felt small again, but he remembered where he came from. Muddy fields, torn shoes, and dreams made of grit. So while others complained about long training hours, Adil stayed late. While others went out at night, he studied game tapes. He became obsessed, not with winning, but with improving. Weeks passed. He began to stand out, not because he was the most talented, but because he was the most consistent. His coach at the academy noticed, "You don't skip training, Adil." "What drives you?" Adil smiled. "The fear of wasting my chance." But success didn't come without struggle. In one crucial match, Adil missed a penalty that could have won the team the trophy. Fans booed. His teammates glared. That night, he sat alone on the bench after everyone left. Rain began to fall, just like the old days. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm not good enough." Then he heard Coach Kareem's voice in his memory. "Success is not an accident. Failure is part of the process." He clenched his fists, stood up, and swore, "I'll come back stronger." He trained harder than ever. He practiced penalties until he could score blindfolded. He worked on every weakness until it turned into a strength. Months later, another championship came. This time, he was ready. In the final match, the score was tied. In the last minute, the referee blew the whistle. Penalty kick. The captain looked at Adil. "You take it." His hands trembled, but his heart was steady. He placed the ball down, took a deep breath, and shot. The net rippled. Crowds erupted. Victory. That night, as the stadium lights glowed and the noise filled the air, Adil closed his eyes. He remembered the muddy field of his village. He remembered the rain, the laughter, the pain, and his father's tired eyes. He whispered, "Abba, I did it." Months later, he was selected for the national youth team. Reporters wrote about the boy from the village who defied the odds. But when asked how he did it, Adil simply said, "Success is not an accident. It's what happens when you work while others sleep, when you push when others stop, when you rise every time you fall." Years passed. Adil became a professional footballer, not the most famous, but one of the most respected. He often returned to his village, visiting young players who trained barefoot just like he once did. One little boy asked him shyly, "Bhai, how did you become so good?" Adil smiled, kneeling down to the boy's level. "I practiced when it hurt. I kept going when it rained, and I never waited for luck." He handed the boy his old patched ball and said, "Remember this, success is not an accident. It's a choice." That evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Adil stood on the same field where it all began. He kicked the ball one last time, watching it roll across the grass, and he whispered, "Every drop of sweat was worth it." The wind carried his words away, across the fields, across the years, a message for anyone who dares to dream. Moral of the story: success doesn't fall from the sky. It's built through pain, discipline, and determination. Talent may open the door, but hard work keeps it open. Remember, success is not an accident. It's earned, not given.